Mayor and Presiding Officer present. Roll call on the City Councilors. Honorable Hildy Rosal is present. Honorable Lucilito S.I. del Rosario present. Honorable Gregorio Rabunal present. Honorable Mila S. D. Raquel Arroyo present. Honorable Elmer S. Valdemoro present. Honorable Vidal P. Castillo present. Honorable Salvador M. del Castillo present. Honorable Jose Sirañola present. Honorable Jose B. Perez present. Honorable Jesse R. Albios present. Honorable Antonio B. Beltran present. Honorable Mary Kylie Francine B. Tripolca present. Madam Chair, dito sa quorum.
The
Prayer.
Ng Ama, ng Anak, ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Mahal na Panginoon, sa pagtatalakayan namin sa kapulungang ito, bigyan niyo kami ng talino upang mapaglabanan ang simbuyo ng aming damdamin. Bigyan niyo kami ng mapag-unawang puso na walang kinikilingan. Bigyan niyo kami ng malawak na pananaw upang mabatid ang anumang nakabalangkas para sa hinaharap. Bigyan niyo kami ng tatag at lakas ng loob sa pagtuklas ng katotohanan at kabutihan. Bigyan niyo kami ng kakayahan sa pananalita na maaari kaming maunawaan. At higit sa lahat, Panginoon, gawin niyo kami karapat-dapat na lingkod bayan na lungsod ng labis naming minamahal at iginagalang, ang lungsod ng Naga, ang puso ng Bicol. Siya nawa. Sa ngalan ng Ama, ng Anak, ng Espiritu Santo.
Pambansang awit.
Bahayang mag-iiliw, handa awit.
Bahayang mag-iiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay, lupang hinirang, ngunyan ka ng mag-iig, sa manlulupi, di ka pa sisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mo'y bugaw, may ilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang sarap ng watawat mo'y tagli, na nagnilingning, ang bituin at araw niyang kay, may di magdidilim, lupa ng araw ng walang ating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang bigaya ng may mang-aapi, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Privilege time.
anybody from the members would like to avail of the privilege time? Okay, Honorable Perez.
Hello. Madam Chair, my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, may nagpaabot po sa kuya magkapirang concerned netizen. Sa tahaw kang kasiributan, asin kahandalan ta sa COVID-19. Na kung pwede, igwa kita igdi sa Naga ning mas innovative asin convenient na approach para sa tuyang mga pasyente na yaon sa saindang harong. Urognaan mga senior citizen, aki asin PWDs na makipagkonsulta sa saindang mga doktor through online. With an established online consultation service between the patients and the doctors and clinics of their choice, the patients who are considered most vulnerable to infection will not have to leave their homes. No need to confront traffic, especially those families that do not have their own private vehicles. And no need to endure the long waiting times at the doctor's clinics. The latter we often see in more popular medical clinics where the patients take their assigned seats in open spaces under the heat of the sun and with dust hovering around them. And worse, which our naked eyes can't see, are the flying bacteria and viruses that we are trying to avoid so that, ironically, we do not have to see a doctor. What is online consultation? The idea is to use the convenience of modern technology to bring together doctors and patients without having to endure the difficulties of reaching the doctors physically. The online application should be so designed to be as easy to use as any other familiar modern application through the use of a computer or the mobile phone. Of course, igo po kitang mga enterprising doctors na may mga individual FB pages na where they interact with their patients online. That's fine. Pero paano po kung ang doktor does not provide one? Paano si mga senior citizen na bakong techno-savvy? And yes, why not put up a single hub for medical practitioners in the city so that patients, including those most vulnerable materially and physically, can avail of the services of the doctor of their choice. Of course, online consultation under the new normal will have its own limitations, such as, for example, the need to use diagnostic equipment and being able to conduct a physical examination. Nevertheless, this online consultation using the proper internet application will serve as an effective remote primary care service wherein a patient can be advised if he really needs to have a laboratory test done or a more urgent care inside the hospital. Through this application too, the doctor can prescribe the patient the appropriate medicine for minor ailments. Sa tahaw kan pangangaipong ini, gusto kong imbitaran ang gabos na stakeholders sa paagi kan sa tuyang mga concerned offices igdi sa City Hall. Kansang gunian, through the Committees on Health na pinamamayuhan ni Councilor Doc Sani Ranyola, asin kang Committee on Senior Citizen Affairs na pinamamayuhan ni Councilor Greg Abunal, asin an Emergency Health Response Task Force kan syudad na sa sarong tiripon o meeting mag-urulay po kita manungod sa ideyang ini. Sa tuyang pandayon ang maninigo asin modernong programa manungod sa online consultation sa laog kang medical profession asin services igdi sa satuyang syudad. Imbitaran niya to ang mga practicing doctors through the Camarines Sur Medical Society, mga representante ng private as in public hospitals, mga internet service providers as in internet apps experts, and online pay service providers to come up with or establish a medical online consultation hub for the city and its environs where feasible. Such program, if realized, which should be by brilliant means at the soonest possible time, will become another effective tool that will help alleviate the plight of our vulnerable citizens in this time of crisis. I am therefore calling on my colleagues and the concerned offices within City Hall to support this noble call. Good morning, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Perez. Anybody else? Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Marinaga po sa kabos, Madam Chair, members of the 13 Sangguniang Palunsod. I will be discussing three things this morning. First, we'll be passing on third and final reading today the ordinance granting incentives to our volunteer traffic enforcers. This will, Madam Chair, definitely boost their morale, and this will continue, and this will ensure the continued support to our PSO and PNP in traffic management functions. Harap naman po baga na nagagrabe ang problema sa traffic sa Naga City. And I thank you all for the support. Second, Madam Chair, never in the history of the nation's educational system since World War II had it been tested with a new setting, different with the traditional classroom setup, with the dangers of pandemic. In our recent discussion with the DepEd Superintendent in Naga City last August 4 during our 53rd regular session, the agency discussed preparations they've been doing and the plans that they will be implementing relative to the so-called the new normal approach. They nevertheless requested the assistance of the city government, especially in implementing the blended learning, a combination of modular and internet-based instruction and interaction between and among students and teachers. As stressed, Madam Chair, by Her Excellency, the Vice President Leni Robredo, there is a strong need to bridge the gap of continuous education amid this pandemic in areas where internet access is poor and gadgets for distance learning is insufficient. Also to aid for transition of distance learning, most especially to families whose parents are out for work and the children are left with no one to assist them during online classes. During the committee hearing of the Committee on Education last week, chaired by Councilor Greg Abonal, with City Councilors Miles Arroyo, Elmer Baltimoro, Kyle Tripulca, there were suggestions made and were now included in this proposed ordinance. An ordinance establishing the continuing education program in the City of Naga, institutionalizing the community learning hubs for every barangay, creating the Naga City Continuing Education Management Committee, defining its composition and functions, and for other purposes. This is anchored, Madam Chair, on the Philippine Constitution, which states that the state shall encourage local initiatives for improving the quality of basic education. The state shall ensure that the values, needs, and aspirations of a school community are reflected in the program of education for children, out-of-school youth, and adult learners. Schools and learning centers shall be empowered to make decisions on what is best for the learners they serve. The continuing education program, Madam Chair, as envisioned under this ordinance, is anchored towards the provision of continuing and unhampered education to pupil learners who are challenged by the current pandemic. The support of the local government is vital to marshal resources and personnel to assist the Department of Education, particularly for the school year 2020-2021. The consideration is the growth and development of human resources to further propel Naga City as a center of commerce and education in the whole of Bicol region. There are components in the proposed ordinance, and the management committee, the functions therein have been defined, and we'll ask the support of our Queen and Sangkawadan officers to assist in the implementation of this proposed ordinance. It is envisioned to be co-located in the barangay hall and, if necessary, a space in the covered court to be equipped with the basic office requirements. Private schools faced with the same difficulty of reaching their students may avail of the learning hub established, provided they deploy personnel for the purpose. I hope the committee will be doing the second round of discussion, Madam Chair, to enrich this proposed ordinance. Lastly, Madam Chair, I hope this morning we shall be collectively passing the ordinance adopting the COVID-19 containment project, harnessing barangay volunteer frontline workers, authorizing the grant of honorarium, and providing funds for the purpose.
Sa mensahe po ni Vice President Leni Robredo Subanggi, sabi niya, walang ibang kayang mag-abot ng salbabida sa ekonomiya ngayon kundi ang gobyerno. Gobyerno lang ang may pondo at makinarya para magparating ng sapat at ibayong saklolo. Government must spend more, spend efficiently, and spend quickly. Ang sa to yung mga barangay officials, kaiba na ang mga barangay workers, haloy na nagtatabang sa to nga rig makontain ang paglaganap ng COVID-19. Gabos inda frontliners. Araw kan sa to yung ekonomiya, kay puwan taman tabangan sinda. Madam Chair, the containment project is adopted as part of the city government strategy in the control and containment of COVID-19. It started last March and will continue until the vaccine duly approved by the Food and Drug Administration is made available to the general population. Our adoption of the containment project launched by Mayor Nelson S. Ligacion is also in accord with the Local Budget Circular 73, dated January 10, 2001, signed by then Secretary Ben Jokno. It states that the grant of honoraria shall be charged from barangay funds, provided that this does not preclude higher local governments to undertake projects in the barangays, which may include the payment of honoraria to its volunteer workers charged from the funds of the LGU concerned. This is contained in the resolution earlier and the proposed ordinance earlier distributed for our consideration, and we hope to pass this on a joint and collective motion. Madam Chair, the project is contain the spread of coronavirus in our city. The project to contain the coronavirus in our city is a daunting task which requires the full support of our barangay volunteers. Hence, our way of thanking them through this proposed ordinance. Salamat po, Miranda sa kapos.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. Anybody else would like to avail of the privileged time? None. Next item.
Reading and approval of the order of business.
Honorable Elmer Baldimoro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, may I move to dispense the reading of the order of business with the following inclusion. Under special business or order is a letter from the City Mayor requesting to include under special business or order the passage of an ordinance reverting to an appropriated balance the amount of 808,550 to be taken from the balances of the following accounts under the office of the City Administrator. Item number 2 of the special business of order is the first endorsement from the City Mayor endorsing to the Sangguniang Panglungsod the Memorandum of Agreement between the City Government of Naga and Metro Naga Chamber of Commerce and Industry relative to the 16th Bicol Business Month, requesting for authority. Item number 3, the special business or order is the proposed ordinance adopting the COVID-19 containment project, harnessing barangay volunteer frontline workers, authorizing the grant of honorarium and providing funds for the purpose. Attached to the proposed ordinance is the local budget circular number 73 as item number 3A. Under unfinished business, item number 5A as attached in the committee report of the Committee on Education, the proposed ordinance establishing the continuing education program in the City of Naga, institutionalizing the community learning hubs for every barangay, creating the Naga City Continuing Education Management Committee, defining its composition and function, and for other purposes. Item number 8, ulat ng committee ng mga bata. Item number 9 is the proposed ordinance authorizing the grant and payment of traffic enforcement incentive to all volunteer traffic groups, providing guidelines for its implementation, creating a trust account to cover the incentives, and for other purposes. Item number 10 is a letter from the Naga City People's Council pertaining to the amended NCPC plan and budget for 2020. Item number 11 is the letter from the City Planning Development Coordinator pertaining to the proposed supplemental annual investment program. Item number 12 is the letter from Attorney Gerardo Borja, the Council of Spouses Law, submitting a copy of the special power of attorney. Item number 13 is a letter from Naga City Pilgrims Electric Tricycle Operators and Drivers Association. Item number 14 is a letter from Evangeline Alinday, the project coordinator of Makawili JC Foundation Incorporated. Item number 15 is a letter from the city mayor submitting the development on the 2.5 million multipurpose intended as Barangay Hall of Mabolo. Item number 16 is the committee report of the Committee on Public Utilities under new business. Item number 7 is the letter from Dr. Raimundo Ibarrientos. Item number 8 is the letter from NCPC submitting resolution number 2020-008. Item number 9 is the letter from Casureco 2. And lastly, Madam Chair, item number under other matters, item number 1 is the DILG memo circular number 2020-111. I so move for its approval, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay, the agenda of today's session as revised is approved. Next item.
Order of business, special business or order. The letter is on the city mayor requesting for the enactment of an ordinance reverting to the unappropriated balance, the amount of 808,550 pesos.
Honorable Rosales?
As requested by our city mayor, may I move on joint and collective for the reversion to unappropriated balance the amount of 808,550 to be taken from the indicated balances as provided in the letter and to be appropriated to the following capital outlay accounts for the city engineer's office and the housing settlements and Development Office. The explanation of our city mayor is provided in the letter as submitted.
On joint and collective motion? Comment, Honorable Del Castillo?
Details of that other machineries and equipment amounting to 432,000 pesos. What are the machineries and equipment that is to be purchased by the city?
Honorable De Rosales?
Madam Chair, dahil ko man po aram, I believe we could request the presence of our HSDO head for his explanation as to his request for the purchase of other machineries and equipment amounting to 432,050 pesos. So may I move for this matters temporary deferment.
Okay, temporarily deferred.
Madam Chair, the one requesting is the office of the mayor. So can we invite the city budget officer and acting city administrator?
And the HSDO head? Or just the budget officer?
Yeah, I think the city administrator can answer my query.
Okay. So the
Can
secretary,
we temporarily defer?
this matter is temporarily deferred. May I ask the secretary to call the city budget officer and acting city administrator. Next item.
The endorsement dated August 24, 2020 from the Honorable City Mayor requesting for authority to enter into a memorandum of agreement between the city and the Metro Naga Chamber of Commerce and Industry with respect to the 6th 10th Bicol Business Month.
Okay. Okay, the Honorable Perez. Honorable Perez, Chair of the Committee on Trade Investment, with regards to the MNCCI authority, to the Mayor.
Yes, I've been approached by several members and officers of the chamber, and they would like that my committee favorably endorse such request, Madam Chair.
You don't,
And so I move that such request or such resolution be favorably acted upon by this body.
so you're moving any comments from the Honorable Del Castillo?
This initiative, but I just want to know how much will be the cost to the city under this MOA, considering that we cannot do the programs that usually have been done during the Bicol Business Month. What are the activities that will be covered for this year's Bicol Business Month?
Bakit?
And how much will be the cost to the City Government of Naga for such activity?
I think we have a line item in the budget with regards to the business
No, it's a lump sum appropriation, Madam Chair. It's not a line
appropriation.
item.
May appropriation ba kita?
It's a lump sum appropriation.
So, okay, maybe paki-scroll.
So my query is
How
how
much?
much is the
How
total
much
cost for the
is-
city, and what are the activities that will be funded out
See,
of this the
Paki-ano mo daw
counterpart
siya?
coming from the City Government of Naga?
Tin, pakitaas. Itong sa LGU. Si ano ka, undertakings of the city government,
So,
1 million.
1 million. Yeah, that's right. Where will that 1 million pesos be spent, considering that we are experiencing a health crisis this time?
I think the activities and the, sige da, baba, pakibaba. Yan. Sa baba. Sa first page, gariya ang duman sa mga activities.
We must remember, Madam Chair,
Yes,
that
Erticha.
during the previous years, we are only giving the Metro Naga Chamber 600,000 pesos. But there are so many activities that is being undertaken. Now we will be contributing 1 million pesos. But we don't know what are the activities that will be undertaken.
Okay, Honorable Perez.
Yes, that's true. For the past, they have been requesting the same amount of 1 million pesos, but ang na-approvean lang po, as far as I can remember, is a maximum of 600,000. Pero kang during the previous Bicol Business Month, although we approved the 6,000, they have requested for additional appropriation to make it 1 million, and which, as far as I can remember, has been favorably approved by my committee and submitted to the plenary for such additional allocation. Ito pong this Bicol Business Month as of now is ongoing. Nag-start na po yan in the middle of August and will end up to the first 2 weeks of September with a lineup of activities. Primarily, ang mga seminars are through the Zoom conferences or webinar, plus trainings as regards construction and retail selling and other similar activities. Kaya po inda ang amount no 1 million because traditionally ang tinatapong tabang actually daiman ang cook duman sa nagagastumi. I have that personal experience because I chaired one of the Bicol Business Months way back, and nagagasto kami ng as much as 2 million to 3 million pesos for 1 month show of trade fairs and other exhibits. siguro for the pleasure of this body, there's no harm kung imbitaran tasinda and inform us or present to us the actual expenses that they would be encountering, or in such a manner that they can justify the amount they are requesting from the city government. And I believe they are willing to present such budget kung kinakaipuhan.
So, are we going to defer this and refer this to your committee?
Well, yes, we can ask the body
Yes.
because
We refer this to the committee, so you can ask you can invite the members of the
Okay.
MNCI.
Okay, Madam
Okay,
Chair.
refer this to the Committee on Trade, Investment, and Relations. Next item. And appropriation. The Committee on Trade as the lead committee. Next item.
The proposed ordinance adopting the COVID-19 containment project, harnessing barangay volunteer frontline workers, authorizing the grant of honorarium, and providing funds for the purpose.
Honorable Del Rosario, Honorable Baldemoro, si say ba? Honorable Baldemoro.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, on the listed barangay volunteers, barangay personnel, Madam Chair, may nakaligtaan lang pong ibali. On the list of barangay personnel, pataas tabitin. Dahil po nakabali dyan itong mga barangay health worker na working at the same time as CBRS. They're receiving 2,800 per month. Also, Madam Chair, the barangay health encoders, 2,000 pesos per month. The educare teacher, receiving 4,300 to 14,500, depending on the length of service and number of sessions.
How
May I
about
move to include that, Madam Chair?
the volunteers about sa health, the one sponsored by the Honorable Ranyola? Ano to? Health monitoring something?
Yun na po yan, itong
Kabali na?
encoder po, itong mga duty at the barangay health center.
The one
There
who's
is an
monitoring.
ordinance authored by the Honorable Ranyola
Ranyola,
creating
yes.
the said position.
Okay, that's included already.
Yes, Madam Chair.
So, on joint and collective motion? Before that, Honorable Del Castillo.
I support this proposed ordinance, Madam Chair, but I have some clarification to be made. First, pag-abot yan sa lupon, why is it that igwang 1,000, may 1,100, may 1,200? Why not
Uniform.
same uniform amount? I think that should be uniform because we are implementing a single program which will justify the grant of the honorarium. Second, Madam Chair, should be noted that under Local Budget Circular number 73, series of 2001, this appropriation should be considered as part of the personal services appropriation of the city. So, kabali siya duman sa 45% personal services limitation as imposed under Section 325 of the Local Government Code. So, and then, third point, Madam Chair, since we are answering for a health emergency, pero pakilugod si itatao sa mga barangay health worker than those other barangay volunteers. I think it should be uniform. remember, barangay health worker, yung nasa printira, kanlaban kontra sa COVID-19. But we will just be giving 2,300 pesos. Ito nga ning recognized, 1,940 pesos. Barangay nutrition scholar, 3,500.
Literacy worker.
Barangay service point officer, BSPO, 2,800. Ang barangay literacy worker, 6,500.
Ayun, tama sa lang.
Dahil pangalan na po ng eskwela. So, what's the difference? I think we should give premium to those working in the front line, particularly the health worker.
Okay,
I think my query should be satisfactorily be answered.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Honorable Miles Secretario.
I support this ordinance, Madam Chair. I really just would like also to be informed the distinctions in the amounts. Kasi kita ang mapasar kayan, kita rin ang madepensa kayan, Madam Chair. The executive only implements it. So, pag hinapot kita, ano ta iba-iba ang mga amounts ng honorarium. Dapat iba kitang explanation. Iba ba ang mga trabaho ninda, the degree of the difficulty of the respective activities undertaken by them. So, siguro kaipuan igwa kitang explanation dyan. Second, I really support that we should give honorarium to our volunteers. Pero ang COVID-19 kasi, Madam Chair, is a health emergency. So ang question, tatahalang kawon ang honorarium kang literacy worker. It's a health emergency, it's not an educational emergency. Ngunyan, pwede na siyang maging educational emergency at the start of school year because of the delivery of the education system ta. Kaipuan talaga yan. Pero dahil pa siya nagpupuon. At the same time, ikaw talaga ba kitang program, ang city, may program talaga kita, wherein, igwa kitang barangay literacy workers. So, tano tada ito ang maging basis, itong program na ito. Itong program that we are implementing, iyo ang basis dapat kang paggranta kang honorarium for the literacy worker, not the COVID-19 emergency. Tano taba ko ito ang gamiton ta? Kasi iyo talaga to ang ginigibo kang barangay literacy worker. We have a program on that, which should be the basis for giving honorarium. Feeling ko lang, baka ma-question, kita mismo dapat may answer kaya kita sa mga questions ta when we decide on doing something. So, yan ang concern ko, Madam Chair, kasi taga-approve kita, dahil man nakasaraan sa itong mga mata. We have to be able to answer first our own questions. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Honorable Miles Secretario. Honorable Valdemoro.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, Madam Chair, it was clear that this honorarium to be granted to the barangay volunteers will be included in the personal services of the city. Second, on the question on the lupon rate, igo po ba kaya kita ning ordinance pertaining to the lupon incentive award? Those barangay having a first and second place will receive a counterpart honorarium of 1,200. The third to fifth barangay will receive 1,100 and the remaining barangay will just receive 1,000. Pertaining to the rate, Madam Chair, ang mga barangay personnel, iyang pong mga will depend on their number of days duty sa barangay. Kaya mahiling po, kung taano ta ang barangay health worker, medyo hababa sa barangay literacy worker. The barangay literacy worker, ang duty po kayan is minsan 5 to 6 days a week catering the alternative learning system class, wherein the barangay health worker may aldaw lang po yan na duty, either 1 or 2 times a day, a week rather. So yan po itong why nagkakaiba-iba ang ang rate pertaining to the barangay personnel. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Baldemoro. Does that answer the query of the Honorable Del Castillo and Honorable Maestra Quidaroyo? Honorable Del Castillo.
No, Madam Chair. First, we must remember that in the title itself of this ordinance, it is the COVID-19 containment project. I understand that we are giving counterpart to barangay volunteers. But in this ordinance, we should focus more on the containment of the current pandemic that is visiting the whole world. That's why I'm pointing out that we should give premium to those who are working directly to combat this pandemic. I think that should be the main direction of discussion for this. We understand, we fully understand that we are giving a counterpart. Mandata man sabi yun, pero baka pigigibo talang sangkalan ini yung COVID-19 containment project for this. Sad to say. Yeah. That's why dapat i-align taman, Madam Chair, ang katuyang primero si pag-assigning rate. Ano ang consideration sa pag-assign kan rate? The degree of difficulty that these barangay personnel that we are tapping, ang dapat basis kan pig kan rate kan yung mga barangay personnel. I think na iyan dapat ang sa tuyang focus yan. So that pag pinasar ka niyo, maski si isa'y maghapot sa tuya kung ano si pasyenta, kaya tang simbago.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Honorable Abunan.
Madam Chair, dakol na po talagang representations ang sa nakakaabot sa tuya regarding the normal, regular honorarium granted to what you call barangay volunteers. Por dahil pig-stop kita kang COA, naghanap kita ng paagi na mataparan si dating ipigdatao sa inda. Ngunyan, nakasa-irip kita ng justification through COVID-related functions. But as already pointed out, ang pagkaiba-iba po ng distribution ng rates betrays the very purpose. Kasi it was already pointed out niyang lupon ano ngayon ta iba-iba. Kundi po ako napapasala, nadangog ko kasubago, educare, igwang 14,000. Kung igoning sarong educare teacher na marireceive niya 14,000, ano daw po si ginibo kaya na COVID-related that would justify 14,000. Kumbaga totoong 14,000. Pero be that as it may, the very differences in the rates, Madam Chair, calls for questions to be answered individually. Ano yung taarog kaya? Si makakasirip kaya na mga inbuilt Madam Chair, dyan mapuon. Anong yata si Kuyan, arog kaniyo. Pareho sa naman kami din nagtrabaho. Or for that matter, parang nga ako nagpara-report arog kanima man talagang direct involvement sa COVID containment. But as far as the grant sabihin tang gratification for those who work, I think that is well deserved, and dahil po kitang question dyan. Ang pigahapot talangon yan is ang pagkaiba-iba garubaga adjusted to what they used to receive. Bako man actually what they did. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Abunal. So, gabus kita nag-uuyon na mataan ning compensation or gratification as others have qualified this. Pero ang question lang kang iba is taano ta dama na ano itong amount na itinatao. Taano ta especially na ang nakakaagta is COVID-related services during the COVID pandemic. Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Good morning again, Madam Chair, to my colleagues. This representation personally understands the sentiments of my other esteemed colleagues. I'd like to defer this temporarily, Madam Chair. We'll rewrite the first and second paragraphs of the proposed ordinance to ensure that the sentiments of the Sanggunian is clearly stated in the paragraph, including the title.
Okay.
So I move that we defer temporarily, Madam Chair.
So thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. This matter is deferred. Can we go back to item number 1? The City Budget Officer and Acting City Administrator is now around. Rules is suspended. What was the query? Honorable Del Castillo. May I request Mr. Mendoza?
With regard to that is the kind of machineries and equipment that will be purchased by the city for the HSDO amounting to 432,000. That's my query.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Mr. Mendoza?
Thank you, Madam Chair. That amount of 432,050 pesos would fund the acquisition of a new survey instrument. They call it total station. Actually, iyan pong price niyan. Iyan si presyo kay itong total station nila kang binakal nila 15 years ago. So, pwede nagbaba o pwede naglanggaw. Anyway, estimate lang po yan. The final price would depend on the canvas of that equipment.
Okay, Honorable Del Castillo?
Should be classified as their capital outlay. Because we'll be purchasing absorbing equipment. So, I have no more query, Madam. I am satisfied with the answer of this
Okay, thank you,
administrator.
Thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. Any other query, Honorable Abunal?
I'd like to point to the source ng reversion is supposed to be from the City Administrator's Office. Yan lang ang source ng reversion.
Yes, Madam Chair. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I am curious about what is this 80,000 for office supplies? Is that
Okay.
correct?
90,000.
90 office supplies. Office supplies expenses?
Okay. This is for the year 2020. Pag pig-reverse mo po ang supplies na yan, igwa ka pa daw supplies na ako sa masunod na bulan.
Ang Office of the City Administrator po kaya sa kuman lang. So, ang nagagamit kaya
Sa Mayor's Office.
itong ibang mga opisina kung minsan nahagad sa kuyang funding under the OCA. But mainly, sa ngunyan po kaya ang ginagamit ko man supplies kang budget, supplies kang Mayor's Office. So, halos dahil sa nahiro.
Yeah. Actually, kulatilya lang po itong hapot na ito. Dahil I already officially inquired about office supplies ng Sanggunian. Yung third and fourth quarter last year, mayuman pig supply. Yung first and second quarter mo yan, mayuman. Baka yan, nadakol na pwedeng reversion.
Possible.
Yan sa to.
Kasi mayuman nag-aabot ng supply, therefore, dahil mang pigagastos. Baka dyan ang source. Bakong duman sa mga offices na sige ang gamit. But now the point, Madam Chair, is not so much the source. Ano po ang supplies ng sanggunian? I've been here for something like mga 6-7 years. Garong day man po yan nasusunod. Ang first quarter, marireceive mo kung minsan fourth quarter na. Ang katotohanan kayo, so third and fourth last year, Mayo nga ni. Sa first and second gunyan, that's why I was wondering, I've been asking Councilor Jess Albios, saan ka nga po nagkukuha kang supplies mo? Pirang bulan ka na, may mambagang pigdi-deliver sa tuya. Nagsimbag man po, Madam Chair, pero selling ko bakang satisfactory. As it were, I took advantage of this particular situation to bring out the point na igwakitanin mga naka-budget na daiman talaga na utubahan daiman na satisfy, and then we keep reverting certain figures, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Honorable Labanan. So all queries was answered by the City Budget Officer. So, on joint and collective motion? Joint and collective, Honorable Rosales? You have already made the motion. Okay, approved. Thank you, Mr.
Salamat po.
Mendoza. Rules are resumed. Next item.
Unfinished business, the letter dated August 13, 2020 from Mr. Nolasco Gesalva, Assistant City Government Department Head 1, HRMO, submitting his comments on the proposed creation of plantilla positions.
Is this with
in
the committee
Sangre
on,
Laws and Ordinances.
is this pending with any committee? Committee on Rules, Reorganization? Where's Honorable Del Castillo?
LO.
Huh? LO?
With LO po.
Refer to the Committee on Laws and Ordinances. Next
The
item.
letter dated August 14, 2020, of the Honorable City Mayor requesting authority to institute the necessary expropriation case against Mr. Antonio Mirillas Jr. for the purpose of acquiring his property intended for the construction of Yabu Elementary School in Barangay Carolina.
I thought Mr. Willis was willing to sell this property. Nag-refuse na siya. Okay, any remarks from the members with regards to this expropriation? City properties? We have offered Mr. Mirillas to buy the property of Mr. Mirillas, but he refused to sell it on the amount we offered, so an expropriation is requested by the city mayor. Okay, Honorable Miles Redaroyo.
Madam Chair, this request, I believe, is in for the runs of the trust of the city to make available school facilities as close to the intended communities as possible. My only concern, Madam Chair, is previously Mr. Willie Prillies requested an amendment in our submitted comprehensive land use plan so that the plans of the city for construction of schools and other government facilities may already be put up in institutional classifications. So, baka dapat kaibanan na rin ini para dai piecemeal kung saan ang mga institutional later
Sararo
on.
na lang.
Yes, kaya pabalik-balik sa tuya ang CLUP ta, Madam Chair. Kasi at siya igwa na naman kitang ipapa-amend. That's why i-withdraw ta na naman sa Department of Housing tangarig maka-submit kitang bago, including the new ones that we have decided. So, I'm just concerned with the other plans. Kasi definitely this will affect again our CLUP, our comprehensive land use plan. So is this area we are intending to expropriate already in our CLUP included as institutional zone, as an institutional area? Can we request comment first from the CPDO?
Okay. So we refer this to the CPDO.
Yes, thank you,
for
Madam.
his comments. Next item. It's now 10:30. Break.